AZOOM snap caps from Lyman are a great tool to add to your range bag. Anything from a training aid to safely function testing your firearm. With a list of calibers ranging from .22 long rifle to 50 BMG, you're sure to get the help you need. AZOOM snap caps are constructed from CNC aluminum, anodized to offer smooth feeding with AZOOM's durable dead primer to protect your weapon's firing pin. All right, now all that boring mumbo jumbo's out of the way, I'd like to show you a few usable tips to use these both at home and on the range. These are good for beginners and even some shooters like myself who just don't get to shoot as much as they'd like to. So this first tip is going to be mainly geared towards parents bringing home their adopted gun from the gun store for the very first time. And congratulations, it's a little baby Glock 34, and its trigger weighs in at 4.5 pounds. Now this is what I consider just basically a familiarity drill. All you're doing is getting familiar with your firearm. This is mainly just geared towards your first time shooters. So you can take your snap caps and just load them into the magazine. You're just gonna practice getting them in there the right way. So now you got your loaded magazine, you're just basically getting familiar, loading it into the gun, racking the slide, getting around into the chamber, and then while you're doing it, now that you've basically got a loaded gun, other than it's loaded with fake ammo, you're gonna practice unloading the gun, because that's just as important to know how to do as loading one. Magazine out, you see the snap caps in there, then rack the slide, get that round out. However, still treat every firearm as if it's loaded. Keep it pointed in a safe direction. This is one of my favorite ways to do the familiarity drill. It's actually with a pump action shotgun. With a pump action, you're not relying on live ammunition to cycle the action, reset the trigger, any of that crap. So you're pretty much just missing out on recoil and the accuracy and hits and rounds going down range. So, of course, safety's off, boom, that round comes out, next round in, ammunition goes into magazine, safety's back off. There we go. Much like the last drill, in this one, you're gonna be dry firing the gun. So what you're doing is taking your magazine loaded with snap caps, loading that into the gun, loading one into the chamber. Then you're gonna start focusing on a proper trigger squeeze. So at least on a Glock, what you've got is this first little spongy area here, and then it's gonna find a little wall, and then that's where you're gonna proceed and squeeze until the gun essentially would have fired. Bang, okay? So now that your striker has striked on the dead primer of the AZOOM snap cap, which those dead primers are able to handle over 3,000 strikes. They're proven to do so, which is awesome, okay? So what you're doing, proper grip, okay, on the firearm. You're gonna rack that one out, which is going to allow you to strike on the next snap cap, take up proper grip, proper sight alignment, equal height, equal light, and then just go for that trigger. And what you want is for the gun to be just nice and smooth with each trigger press. And that's a nice drill that you can do at home. You can probably guess that the next little bit of training tips that I have for you are gonna involve live fire, and you'd be absolutely right. So this next one is mainly based for people who have a problem with the rounds hitting low left. Usually that means that you're flinching. However, with live ammunition, it can be a little bit hard to see that. So if you take some of these snap caps and load them into your magazine at random, so you don't necessarily know when it's gonna happen, and go shoot, watch how much your gun moves, how much it dives when it goes click instead of bang. All right, well, I didn't flinch, but. Okay. Well, I didn't flinch either, but a lot of new shooters will. I didn't flinch, and that's a good thing, but of course I knew that they were in there, so at least I'm headed in the right direction. It's one of those things, beginners practice till they get it right, professionals practice till they cannot get it wrong. All right, so getting a little bit more advanced with some of these drills or some of these training techniques, what we're getting into is what we call a tap, rack, bang. So what you're doing is like the last drill, you're loading snap caps randomly into your magazine with live ammunition in the hopes of actually causing your gun to jam. because guns don't always jam when you actually want them to. So we're gonna do it on purpose. So what we're doing is as soon as that gun goes click instead of bang, you're gonna tap on the magazine, rack the slide, and then go back to attempt to fire. There we go, that was a flinch. Okay, now we're empty. So there we go. So where this drill might come in handy is on a type of a jam where you get either a dud round, which one of those actually was a dud round and not just a snap cap, or if you're to have an out of battery safety doing its actual job, which is if your slide doesn't go all the way into battery, it keeps the gun from firing. All right, so now for some of you rifle shooters out there, I just want to demonstrate real quick that the snap caps are still useful even for training with your rifle, because dud ammunition can happen pretty much anywhere. All right, empty. Cool. All right, so this next drill is what I would call the Judgment Day drill. That's where you take your Winchester 1887 shotgun and you flip cock it. And of course, when you're flip cocking your 1887 Winchester, you're gonna actually be pointing the shotgun in a lot of different directions, including at yourself, which is why snap caps are perfect for training with this one. All right, so until you're super good with that, I would recommend not moving straight into live ammunition and practice a lot with your snap caps. Maybe never even go to live ammunition because it's a little crazy. But unless you're crazy like my brother Jim, and you can see him flip cocking his 1887 with live ammunition in the first season introduction to the Keeping Up with the Johnsons on our Northwest Arsenal YouTube channel. And while you're there checking that out, go ahead and hit that like button, and I want to see how good of a shot you are. I want to see if you can hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Check out lots of the products that we have on our website at nwarsenal.com.